Alright, so first video from the new home studio. You're going to see how this works. I'm trying a different camera setup. What we're going to look at tonight is Q-Mix and how it works. I'm running it with a Windows 7 laptop, Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit. It has, I updated it on top of Universal Control 1.5.2, so I went from 1.5.2, which allowed me to use the iPad remotely, and then upgraded to 1.5.3. Now when I first installed 1.5.3, I had an issue with a DLL file not being found, and it prompted me to restart my, or to uninstall and reinstall. So I did. I was still having an issue with connecting, but I had everything connected to my home network, and it's a wireless N router, and for some reason my devices weren't being recognized in Universal Control or in VSL. So it was kind of weird. I then uninstalled and reinstalled and uninstalled and reinstalled, and I probably did a lot of that for nothing. So I went and grabbed my little router that I use for gigs, hooked it up, and everything started working just like it should. So I'm going to show you some features. I'm going to show it to you what the new features are with the SL remote for iPad, and then I'll also show you the Q-Mix. I'm going to try and get some music playing back here, and we'll use the studio monitors as different aux sends, so you can hear how we can control auxes individually. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the Presonus website, presonus.com, go to technical support, software updates and drivers, and then on that page you're going to want to scroll down to Studio Live, depending on what version you have. We're doing this for the 24, and your Universal Control 1.5.3 is right here. Okay, so download that. Once that's downloaded, it's pretty small. I think it's only about 7 megs. Once it's downloaded, go ahead and run the install. Very important, do not have the Studio Live connected when you do this step, when you actually install Universal Control. It's going to ask you to reboot the PC. Once you actually reboot, then hook up your Studio Live to your computer and launch Universal Control. And now we've got the updated VSL. Pretty sweet. It runs great, just like it did in previous versions. But we have some additional features here, and that's under the setup. And you can see that I have no remote devices right here. Reason being is that I don't have any devices that are on the same network. To get online, I had to use a different network, so I'm going to switch my networks here. We'll go to what I use for our audio connections. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and launch SL Remote, which is the newest version on my iPad. Okay, I'm going to launch SL Remote here. Remember, we got to make sure that we're on the same wireless device or same network. I'm going to go ahead and select my Studio Live here and connect. And I'm going to take us back to the overview channel. Okay, you can see it's pulling everything just as it were on the board, and I'm now controlling. front of house. So let's go ahead and now take a look over at what it looks like in VSL. So now in VSL I have a remote device listed, and this is my iPad, Matthew's iPad, and I have the option of making it selectable for different purposes. I can either ignore this device, I can select it available so it can actually rename channels, and I've got it selected for front of house, so everything that I can do in VSL I can do from the iPad, and then I can also have it selectable. If I have front of house, the auxes are grayed out, or I can make it selectable for individual auxes. Now this is where Q-Mix actually comes in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that back on front of house. And it's interesting, but when I unselect front of house, it will actually gray out SL remote. So it won't let me access those. So it actually works in real time. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual iPhone once I get the iPhone connected. Okay, so I've set my iPhone up to make sure that I'm on the same network as my laptop and my iPad. I'm going to launch Q-Mix. Q-Mix you can download from the App Store. You can get it for iOS 5 or iOS 4. It'll work in both. And you can see here's my little Studio Live, just like remote on the iPad. Go ahead and click on it and connect. And now I have a controllable mix. Now what's cool is as soon as I connect with my iPhone, it will then show up in my VSL. Okay, so now my iPhone, Matthew's iPhone, is showing up in VSL, and I can select it for any of my auxes or all of my auxes. I can select it for wheel only, and I can make it also channel rename, or I can ignore it altogether. So I'm going to leave it assigned to aux 1. I have some stuff playing on that, and in Q-Mix. Alright, so now that I have Q-Mix open, I have aux 1 set for my available mix. When I put it into landscape mode, I now have control of aux 1 and all the volumes for all of the channels that are out there, as well as effects A and effects B. So really cool. Now you'll notice aux 2, aux 3, aux 4, those are all locked out because I only have aux 1 assigned. So let's go ahead and get some music playing. I'm going to just play some stuff back from a show that we recorded a couple weeks ago, and I'll show you how that will actually affect from your iPhone what you actually hear in your mix. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play some music back. This is just some stuff that I have in Capture. I'm going to play it back. I've had to enable FireWire input on all of the channels that I'm going to play back on, and right now I only have aux 1 turned up on the mixer, and that's all I'm going to be controlling here. So we're going to hear that out of my left studio monitor here, and as soon as I press play, you'll see, of course, that's something you may want to do, is turn off your lock screen time. But once it actually connects, we'll see that now I do have audio coming in on those channels. Okay, so channel 1 is kick drum, channel 2 is snare, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, those are all guitars and bass. So if I want to listen to just my kick drum, I'm just going to roll up my kick, and now I've got my kick. Alright, so that's for that individual mix. Okay, got some kick drum here, and here's the actual song, so we should be getting some kick here in a second. Alright, I want more kick, less kick. Alright, some snare. Okay, so now I got some snare in my mix. How about bass? Now this would be kind of based on just an overall mix here. Alright, so now I got kick, snare, and bass in my ears or in my wedges, however I want to do it, but it's custom tailored for aux 1. Alright, maybe that's a little bit too much bass. I could turn the bass down a little bit. Okay. 7 and 8 are guitars, so I'm going to turn up a little guitar here. A little bit more guitar. Lead guitar. Alright, too much guitar. I'll turn those down. Okay. And then my last channels are all vocal. Now this is my lead singer here. So he's got guitar, bass, drums, vocals. He needs more, he can turn it up, turn it down. Now remember, he does sit behind a drum set, so he's got some lead. Maybe turn up background vocals, which we shouldn't have too much right now. Just kind of some room noise. And that's really... Alright, so I've got my aux mix selected here, and across my fat channel you can see the different levels. And I just wanted to show you that when you make your adjustments, now I've turned the aux down just so I can talk, but when you make your adjustments, it also makes your adjustments right on the board, just like you would expect it to. Alright, well that's Q-Mix. If you have any questions or anything, leave me questions or comments. The next show that we do, which is this Saturday, we are going to be doing strictly from the iPad. So we're going to set up the iPad at the table, away from the mixer, and everybody in the band will be using Q-Mix. So we'll be testing this out fully in a real scenario. So the next gig log will be completely remote control with the SL Remote iPad app and Q-Mix for the iPhone. So I hope you got something out of it. That's Q-Mix. Thanks.